Janitor saved lost boy during a storm. Days later, a helicopter landed outside his cabin. The storm rolled in faster than anyone expected. Wind howled through the pines like a warning cry, and rain slammed against the ground in sheets. Inside the quiet halls of Ridgeway Elementary, Samuel Brooks, the school janitor, was just finishing up his shift. He was a quiet man, gray-haired and gentle-eyed, known to the children as Mr. Sam. He kept to himself, always humming an old jazz tune while sweeping, his back aching but his heart full. No one knew much about his past, only that he lived alone in a small cabin just outside town, and never missed a day of work. That night, as lightning cracked the sky and the town hunkered down, a panicked call came through the school's emergency line. A boy, 8-year-old Jake Thompson, was missing. He had run off after school, upset after a fight with a friend, and hadn't come home. As search teams gathered, Sam overheard the location last seen. The wooded trail near the edge of the schoolyard. His heart pounded. He knew those woods. He had once lost something in them too, his own son, decades ago, in a moment too painful to speak of. Without a word, Sam grabbed his coat and flashlight and headed into the storm. Branches whipped at his face, and his boots sank in the mud, but Sam didn't stop. Hours passed. Then, through the roar of wind and thunder, he heard it, a faint, desperate sob. He followed the sound and found Jake, curled beneath a fallen tree, shivering and soaked. The boy clung to him like he'd found the sun. Sam wrapped his coat around Jake and carried him back through the storm, each step a battle, each breath a prayer. They made it. The town called him a hero. But Sam didn't want recognition. Just did what anyone would, he said, brushing off reporters and thank you cards. 3 days later, as morning mist lifted from the hills around his cabin, the thunder of rotor blades shook the air. A sleek, black helicopter descended onto the clearing in front of his home. Out stepped a man in a tailored coat, Jake's father. But not just a father. He was CEO of one of the largest tech companies in the country, a man used to solving problems with money and speed, not storms and sacrifice. He stepped forward, tears in his eyes. "You didn't just save my boy," he said, voice cracking. "You reminded me what it means to be human. And I want the world to know your story." Sam was stunned. That moment opened a floodgate. News outlets shared the tale. A foundation was set up in Sam's name to support at-risk kids and single parents. But Sam, he didn't change. He still swept the halls. Still hummed jazz. Only now, children hugged him tighter, and parents nodded with quiet reverence. Because sometimes, the world changes not through headlines or heroics, but when one kind soul chooses to act, even in the storm. And for the first time in years, as he watched kids laugh and grow in the very school he cleaned, Sam felt something he hadn't in a long time: peace.